Hello friends, welcome to our YouTube channel Civil with Sudhir and myself Sudhir Jirobe. So today's video we are going to discuss the KPSC WRD AE 2020, that is the upcoming exam, and we are discussing the previous year question that is asked in WRD Assistant Engineer 2017 full paper solution, and this is a part 1, right? So we will discuss all the questions, 100 question by part, right? So in this part we will discuss 25 questions in detail. We will get all the analysis we have already done in my previous video. If you haven't didn't see that one, in the I button I have given the link, you can visit there only. Okay, so today's video we are going to discuss the next, that is the first part of WRD 2017 ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಪೇಪರ್. ತುಂಬಾ ಜನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಇದ್ರ ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಇದು ನಮ್ಮ ಸೋಷಿಯಲ್ ಪ್ಲಾಟ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಇದೆ, ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಟೆಲಿಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಚಾನಲ್ ಸಿವಿಲ್ ವಿತ್ ಸುಧೀರ್. ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಜಾಯಿನ್, ದ ಲಿಂಕ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ ದ description box, and this is our Facebook page, that is the KPSC Civil AE JEE Study Point. You can join our Facebook page also or the group, and this is our YouTube channel Civil with Sudhir. Make sure you have already click on the subscribe button and click on the all, that is a notification bell icon, right? So let's start today's first question, that is a 2017, right? So these are the questions, and I have taken this question, that is the PDF from the WRD 2017, and PDF already I have uploaded in my Telegram channel, right? Go to the file section in my Telegram channel, you will get the WRD 2017 question paper, general as well as the technical. Shall we start? Okay, so today's first question. So first of all I will do one thing, right? ನಾನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಮುಂದೆ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ ಯಾವ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂದ ಇದೆ, ಫ್ರಮ್ ವಿಚ್ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆಸ್, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ರೈಟ್ ದಟ್ ನೇಮ್. ಓಕೆ, so let me read this question. Question number 1. The method of measurement of concrete work specifies the cubic content shall be worked out to the nearest. So this is estimating and costing. Estimating question. Estimating and costing subject. Estimating and costing. Now what in the question they are asking, if you are measuring the in meter cube, if you are measuring in meter cube, concrete will measure in meter cube, so how much accuracy you will take? Let me show you. So unit of measurement and rule, some measurement is there. So booking dimension, you know, that is the length, breadth, depth. This is a booking dimension, we can say, right? So we can say this is a cubic content. So in order to following sequence of length, breadth and height or depth or the thickness, this one you know already, but all work shall be measured subjected to following tolerance unless otherwise stated. For example, if they given dimension shall be measured nearest to 0.01 meter, if they given you length, right? If they ask you, instead of here they have asked what, meter cube, or they are asking the concrete. So concrete is nothing but we are measuring in meter cube. But if they ask in the same way for length, right? So you have to take 0.01 meter. That is a tolerance or accuracy you require, 0.01 meter. Now in this question, if they ask area shall be worked out nearest to the 0.01 square meter or meter square, right? So but in this question they ask about what, concrete. Concrete we will measure in what, cubical content, length, breadth, depth. So that cubical content shall be calculated nearer to the 0.01 cubic meter or meter cube, right? If they ask about the weight, okay, ಈಗ ನೋಡಿ ಬರೀ ನೀವು ಲೆಂತು ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಲೆಂತು ಏರಿಯಾ ಅಥವಾ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ವೇಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನೀವು ಕನ್ಫ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದ್ರದ್ದು ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಂತ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಸೊ 0.001 ಟನ್ಸ್, right? Weight shall be worked out to the 0.001 tons. Thickness of RCC slab shall be measured nearest to what, ಇದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಸಾರಿ ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 0.005 meter. So the thickness of woodwork shall be measured to the nearest what, 0.002, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ನಾನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಓಕೆ, 0.002 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಸ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕಂತ, ಒಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಒಂದು 10 ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರು ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಬರಬೇಕು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಆ ಥರ ನಿಮಗೆ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ರೆಡಿ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದು. The thickness of steel work shall be measured nearest to what? 0.001 meter. So this is about the steel work. If the length of steel reinforcement bar shall be measured to the nearest 0.0005 meter and its diameter nearest to 0.0001 meter. Okay, so area shall be measured to the nearest 0.01 square meter. If they ask you nearest to 0.01 square meter, but the area of the steel shall be measured to the nearest how much? 0.0001 meter cube or cubic meter. Volume shall be measured nearer to the 0.01 cubic meter, but volume of wood shall be measured 0.001 cubic meters. ನೋಡಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಥರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನು ಆಯಿತಾ ಅಕ್ಯುರೇಸಿ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಇಷ್ಟು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಇಷ್ಟು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೌ ಮಚ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ 0.01 meter cube is the answer for the given question. Next question, question number 2, right? Excavation exceeding 1.5 meter in width as well as 10 meter square on plan but not exceeding 30 centimeter in depth shall be described as. So this is again once again this is estimating question, estimating and costing. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಹೆಸರು ಗೊತ್ತಾಗೋದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ನಿಮಗೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಕ್ವಶನ್ asked from the subject estimating and costing. Okay, what actually they are telling? Excavation is nothing but when you, for example, this is your ground level, right? If you are excavating like this, right? If you are excavating like this, so exceeding 1.5 meter width, if it is exceeds 1.5 meter, if it is more than, as well as 10 meter square on plan, this is what we can say, this is a section. When we see this is on the plan, right, like this, right? So this is length, this is breadth. So if it is width as well as 10 meter square on the plan, so if it is 10 meter square but not exceeding 30 centimeter in depth, so depth, sorry, I am saying depth, it is depth. So depth should be less than 30 centimeter. So what actually you will say, that we always say that is an surface excavation, right? So that we call it as an surface excavation. This is a question from estimating and costing. Done. Next question. In mass Hall diagram, the term hall represents what? What do you mean by hall? So they are asking mass hall diagram, right? We can say this is a question from construction management. Okay, so construction management and construction planning and management. So what actually they are telling, the mass hall diagram, the term hall represents what? The term hall represents what? Let me see what is the meaning of the mass hall curve. So this is the curve represents the cumulative volume of the earthwork at any point on the curve, right? So the manner in which the earth to be removed. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕವೇಷನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಇಫ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ earthwork, for example, this is for the excavation, they are doing the earthwork, right? They are removing the soil from this point and they are just dumping here, right? The distance between these two is, for example, 500 meter or 100 meter, 200 meter. So this distance we call it as, always remember, this is hall. So this is a site and this is a deposit site. You are taking the soil from this point and depositing here, right? So by big masses, ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಒಂದು ಕಡೆಯಿಂದ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಡೆ ಒಯ್ದು ಏನು ಡಿಪಾಸಿಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ, ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಹಾಲ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ಮಾಸ್ ಹಾಲ್ ಕರ್ವ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯುಮುಲೇಟಿವ್ ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಆಫ್ ಅರ್ತ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಎಟ್ ಎನಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಕರ್ವ್, ಮ್ಯಾನರ್ ಇನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಅರ್ತ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಮೂವ್ಡ್. So it is necessary to plan the movement of excavated soil of the work site from the cuts to fill so that the haul distance is minimum to reduce the cost of the earthwork. So this distance should be minimum because the cost of transportation will be more if the distance is more, right? Because number of loads of the lorries or that vehicles should be increased if the distance is more. If it is less, you can make it very fast. So the Hall mass diagram helps to determine the economy in a better way. Good point. Next, the mass hall diagram is a curve plotted on a distance base with the ordinate at point on the curve representing the algebraic sum of the volume of the earthwork up to that point. Right? So we can say that the plot distance between the ordinate at point on the curve representing the algebraic sum of the volume of the earthwork. And haul refers to the transportation of your project excavated material. Simple. Haul refers to the your material is transported from one place to another place. Just in this example, I have explained already. This is a site and this is a disposed site. Okay. And haul is nothing but this is the volume of earthwork, summation of volume of earthwork into distance moved. So this is a haul. So the answer for this question is horizontal distance through which the load is shifted. Right? Or sum of the product of each load. Horizontal distance through which the load is shifted. 1 minute. Sum of the product of each load by its distance. Yes, we can say that the sum of the product of each load into distance, right? Work face of excavation, distance from the center of gravity of cutting to the tip. Okay, so horizontal distance through which the load is shifted. Next question. In the method of measurement of earthwork in filling the foundation, this is again estimating question. Estimating question. In the method of measurement of earthwork in filling, 1 minute, foundation trench, filling shall be measured and of deduction will be made for the settlement arrive at the net quantities in the case where quantity is measured in loose stacks or in carts or lorries. So fill in the blank choosing the correct answer from the option. So what they are asking, the method of measurement of earthwork in filling. For example, this is the what earthwork you have already done and you have constructed the footing, right? So this is the hatchet portion, we can say this is footing and this is column. So this portion, right, this portion, right, I will do one thing, I will this is one, this one. So this portion, when you fill this soil, right, when you fill this soil, we can say that is an infilling, earthwork in filling. So in foundation trench, that is I am telling you, this is a footing and this is a column and this is soil in the trench or foundation. The filling shall be measured and deduction will be made for the settlement to arrive at the net quantities. How we will do? Okay, let me tell you. Whenever it is not possible to convert the make measurement from the cutting, filling shall be measured, the deduction for the shrinkage or the voids, that is the settlement allowance, shall be made for the actual measured cubic content depending on the nature of the soil and the method of the consolidation. So generally we can say that is an 10% deduction shall be made in case of ordinary consolidated fill, that we call it as that is a settlement, right? So in the case of consolidated done by heavy machineries or if you compacted, so that we take as a 5%. But in question they are asked that is the loose stacks in cart or lorries, that is the ordinary consolidated. So the 10% deduction we have to take. Okay, I think you understood what actually they are asking. So we have to answer this 10%. Okay, I will let me show you the clear picture so that you can understand. So this is the excavation and this is the footing, right? This is footing because I want to care my students. So this is the column and after construction these places, right, these two places from here to here, from here to here, these are two blank places. So when you fill these blank spaces with the soil, we call that is an trench filling. Trench filling. Okay, I think you got the point now, right? Next question. Question number 5. Specification for the corrugated galvanized iron roofing specifies that the roof slope shall not be laid flatter than dash if not otherwise specially mentioned. Again, this is estimating question, or we can say estimating and costing, or we can take this is in building construction also, but I am taking it is related to the estimating and costing. What they are asking, corrugated galvanized iron roofing sheets, right? I think you have already seen. Right, like this, these are the sheets, GI sheets we can say, right? So they are asking the roof slope shall, they are asking now the slope. If you are providing like these sheets, right, so they are asking the slope. So that slope we can say galvanized iron sheets or zinc coated iron is known as galvanized iron. This soft iron sheet is popularly known as GI sheets. The zinc coating resists corrosion and improves the appearance of the metal and permit it to soldered and with great ease. So these are only wide used where they are stronger than the AC sheets. So however, because of higher cost, these are replaced by AC sheets. These are not used for the slope flatter than 1 in 4, right? 1 in 4. Okay, so the answer for this question is 1 in 4 is the answer for the given question, right? Simple question. Next, multiplying factor for measurement of painting on the collapsible door. Again, this question is estimating. If you didn't watch my last video that I already made, analysis of WID 2017, right? How many questions asked in different subject? Please go through that video. You will get all the details. Different questions asked on the different subjects. So this is the estimating and costing subject question. So the multiplying factor for the measurement of painting on the collapsible door. I think you have already seen the collapsible door. Let me draw roughly the diagram so that you can understand this one, right? Okay, this is like this and this one is like this. I think you already seen this type of doors where security is required, right? Okay, right? So this is the, we can say this is a collapsible door. Collapsible door, it is provided at the entrance or safety where safety is required. Now the question they are asking about the painting on the collapsible door. If they are painting this one, so what is the multiplying factor, whether you have to take 1.2, 0.8 or 1.5? Let me tell you. So the collapsible door gate is one which can open or close by slight pull or push, right? You can pull here or you can push from that point, right? You have handles here, right? So you can push or pull. This door is used where the width of the door is large and space is insufficient to provide two leaf hinge shutters to open. So this door is fabricated from the thin mild steel section. So this is made up of what? Mild steel section. This also very important. Okay, now in this tabular column I have given the description of the work, how it is measured and multiplying factor. If it is plain sheet, steel doors and windows, for example, if you are taken in plain sheet or steel doors, so that is that we can say that is in windows. So measured, that is measured by what? Flat or including the frame edges. So multiplying factor we have to take for that is 1.1 for each side. For example, this is a door, right? So this is one side and at the behind another side, and at the sides also, if you have sides also they will measure, but we will only consider this one side and another one behind. front and back, front and back. Okay, so two sides. So each side they will multiply, multiplying factor 1.1. Collapsible gate. So they are asking this question: measure flat size of the opening 1.5 for the painting to all over. All over means they are not taking by each face, they are taking to total gate, right? So 1.5 you have to multiply. So what is a multiplying factor means? For example, if you are painting any door, window or anyone, right? So you have to increase, right? You have to increase the quantity for the 2 or 3 different codes, right? So that's why we have to multiply using the multiplying factor. That is also depends on the number of description works, how you are working. Partially paneled and partially glazed steel doors. For example, this is door, half is glaze and half is wood. This is wood and this is glass. I think it is going my behind, I will draw here. So this is glass, right? So in that cases you have to take 0.8. If steel roller shutters like for the shops you have already seen, if they given like this, that is a measured flat size of the opening, overall jambs, guides and bottom rails. So that will take 1.1 is a multiplying factor. Gates and open palisade fencing including standard braces, rails and stays. For that we have to take the 1 is a multiplying factor. I think you got what is multiplying factor and why we have to take that multiplying factor. So every question I will tell you in detail, because if they ask any related question, so you have to answer easily because exams are very near. Right, next question. Question number 7, that is, as per IS 1200, in the measurement of brickwork, no deduction shall be made. Okay, this question is again estimating and costing. See how many questions they have asked in estimating and costing, because this is very important. If you selected in the department, then these are the very important in practical construction also. That's why they are asking these type of questions. Okay, remember this one. Now, as per IS 1200, in the measurement of brickwork, no deduction shall be made for the following reasons. First one, ends of the dissimilar material, that is the joist, beams, lintel, post, girders, right, purlins, trusses, corbels, steps, up to zero point 0.1 meter square in section, up to 0.1 meter square in section. This is very important. This is first point. Opening up to how much? Opening up to 0.1 meter square area. So if it is up to 0.1 meter square area, then you have to neglect. So in calculating area of an opening, any separate lintel or sill shall be included with the size of opening, but the end portions of the lintel shall be excluded. Cement concrete blocks as for hold fast. So this is the what? Door. So to fix this frame in position, we will use what? These are the different supports. These are made up of mild steel or irons. These are like a sheet, small sheets. They will fix in the wall. Right? These are the hold fast. These are hold fast. So the hold fast and holding down bolts. Right? So these are the hold fast. Wall plates, bed plates and bearing of slabs, chhajjas, like where the thickness does not exceed 10 centimeter and bearing does not exceed over the full thickness of the wall. Bearing means, for example, if you are providing the lintel, right, beyond this portion we call it as a bearing, right? So that we have to, no deduction has to be made, right? So the answer for this question, what we can say, they have here, by seeing this option we can say they have only asked meter square, that is the area they are asking, right? So the area I already done 0.1 meter square, right? Opening up to, see, opening up to they have given, opening up to how much? 0.1 meter square in area. Is it right? 0.1 meter square in the area. So this is the answer for the given question. Question number 8. If bar is cranked at both ends, this is RCC question. This bar is cranked at both ends at an angle of 30 degree. then the extra length required when compared to straight bar, right? So D is the center to center distance between the top and the bottom steel. Let me see the sketch. First of all, understand, so this is the bent up bar. The sketch you are seeing on the screen is, we can say, that is a bent up bar. So why we have to provide this bent up bar, right? So we have to provide for the what, negative bending moment, right, at the nearby the supports, right? So now what they are asking, if the bar is cranked at both ends, you can see the bar is cranked. This is a crank portion, sorry. So this is a crank portion, you can see this is a crank portion, this one is a crank portion. At the both ends, they are asking at the both ends, angle is 30 degree, you can see the angle is 30 degree. So the angle is 30 degree, right? Sorry, so 30 degree. Then the extra length required when compared to straight bar. So the extra length, we can say that, so this is D, right? This is a D. This is the D is the depth of the slab, we can say. Now this, from this portion, right? This is like this one and this one also. So this is a L by 4 to L by 5, right? This is 30 degree, and this portion we can say this is a 2 times of the depth, right? And this is the effective depth, or D is the diameter. Now this total length, right, that is a span. Effective length of 30 degree cranked bar, we can say by taking this portion like this, right, like this, and we can say I will draw dotted line, right, and here also. So this is 30 degree, right, and this one is D, right? This one we have to calculate, or this one. So for the 30 degree bend, length of the crack is D by sine 30, right? So D by sine 30, this one you can see by this sketch I have drawn here. So D by sine 30, D by 0.5, that is a 2 times of D. Now length covered by the crank. So what is the actual length? We have to calculate that one. So D by tan 30, that is a 1.73 D. Now extra length required for one bend. So what is the extra length required? That is the 2 minus 1.73 D, that is a 0.27 D, right? So actually what we can do, this is the straight bar. If you bend this one like this at a certain portion like this, right? So the length of that overall length, for example this is 12 meter, right? So this is 12 meter, but if you bend here at the some portion and here also, the length of this portion is reduced 11 meter. For to overcome that shortage, you have to add the extra length. That extra length they are asking. So that is a 0.27 D is the answer for the given question, right? 0.27 D, 2 into 0.27 D. I think you got the question as well as the answer. What is the solution? First of all, understand, right? Shall we move to the next question? Okay. Next question. Question number 9. Number of cement bags required in making plain cement concrete flooring in an area of size 3 meter into 3 meter. Floor size. Floor size. Let me write the, first of all, this question again is from the estimating and costing. Estimating and costing. Okay. So the floor size is what? 3 meter into 3. Sorry. Okay. 3 meter into 3 meter. 100 mm thick. 100 mm thick using cement concrete mix, that is a 1:3:6. Okay, so 1:3:6. So what they are asking? They are asking the number of cement bags. Let me tell you, first of all, right, before going to start this one, I will write some points here. One bag of cement is equal to 50 kg. Right, and what is the unit weight of cement? Unit weight of cement is, I can say that is 1440 kg per meter cube is the unit weight. These are the two important points. Let now solve the problem. What is the given? They are given. What is the in the question they have given? The area of the floor is 3 meter into 3 meter, and the thickness of the floor is that is the what, 100 mm, right? We can say that is an 0.1 meter. Now the mixed proportion is 1:3:6. Total weight of the concrete required. How we will calculate? Area into thickness. For example, let me draw the diagram so that you can understand easily. For example, so this is 3 meter by 3 meter, right? This is the area of the floor. Thickness of the floor they have given how much? 0.1. To calculate the volume, how will do? Wet quantity of the concrete. So the area into what? We can to do thickness. So we will get the volume, right? So they are doing here that one only. So 3 into 3 into 0.1. So we will got 0.9 meter cube. So this is the wet quantity of the concrete required. Now the dry quantity means also, now what is the difference between wet quantity and dry quantity? See, if you are taking the cement for the calculation of 1 meter cube, you have to increase the volume of the cement. Why? Because if you add water, the volume will shrink. Volume of the cement will shrink. If your target is to complete the, if your volume required is 1 meter cube, and if you have taken only exactly 1 meter cube or 10 kg of the cement, the volume of that cement will be reduced. For that purpose, right, we have to increase the volume, right? So dry, by seeing here, dry quantity is nothing but actual quantity you are taking, right, while doing the not calculation, while doing in the practically, while doing simultaneously you are mixing in the site. So in that, how much you have to take? So that I am saying 1.54 into wet quantity, means you have to increase 40 to 50% you have to increase. So they are increased here 1.54 into wet quantity. So this is, first we have calculated wet quantity, right? After that we have to calculate the dry quantity. Now the quantity of one proportion, that is the 1.386, we can say this formula is total quantity or total dry quantity divided by the proportions, right? So 1:3:6 is the given. Now 0.1386 meter cube is a quantity of one proportion. But in the question they were asked about the what? They are asked about the number of cement bags. So the total quantity of cement bag we can say 1 into 0.1386, that is a 0.1386 meter cube. Now 0.1386 into 1440, unit weight of cement is what? 1440 kg per meter cube. So the number of cement bags is 199.58 by 50. What is this 50? 50 is one bag of cement is 50 kg. So we have to divide that one, right? So we will get 3.99 bags. So the nearest answer is 4 bags of cement. So this is the procedure to calculate this type of question if they repeat. Simple one, but in exams directly you come to this point only. Don't write all these things. For your understanding purpose I have written clearly, right? Done? Understood clearly? Okay, shall we move to the next question? Let's move. Question number 10. Sensitivity analysis is a study of, right? So what is a sensitivity analysis? Sensitivity analysis is a study of what? Comparison of profit loss, comparison of asset and liability, change in output due to change in input. So let me see. Okay, let me write the in which subject this one is asked. So this is, we can say management, or we can say construction management. Construction management, or construction project management, we can say project management, right? From this subject this question asked. Let me tell you. So the sensitivity analysis is the study of what? How the uncertainty of the output of a mathematical model. Model is nothing but we are coming in the what? That is in the management. So the system or numerical otherwise can be divided and allocated to different source of uncertainty in its inputs, right? I think you have not understood what they are telling. Let me tell you in simple way. We can say profit and loss, that is a comparison of profit and loss in general term as P and L statement. I think if you are aware of stock market, every company having the P&L statement, or the, we can say that is an what? Anyone knows? That we call it as a balance sheet. If you want to read the balance sheet, right, you have to thoroughly, you have to go about the profit and loss of that company. So that we can say that is a sensitivity analysis. Aggregate difference between the asset and liabilities is called the equity or a capital, right? So this is the difference between asset and the liabilities, right? Economy of the cost and benefit of the project is called as cost benefit analysis. Economy of the cost and benefit of the project. For example, this is a pen, right? So what is the minimum cost of this pen and what is the benefit of this pen? When you divide this one, you will get cost benefit analysis. Okay, you will get cost benefit analysis. So the question they ask is, sensitivity analysis is a study of what? Comparison of asset and liabilities, comparison of profit and loss, economic of the cost and benefit of the project, right? So what is the answer, right? So what is the answer? We can say that is in this one, comparison of the profit and loss. Next question. In a PERT analysis, the time estimate of the activities and the probability of the occurrence follows. See, by seeing this question only, you can say this is a construction management. Construction management or project management. I always say this is a construction management, project management, right? So this is a PERT analysis. There are two different, that is a CPM and PERT, critical path method or program evaluation review technique. So these are the different two methods for network diagrams, right? So now they are asking, the PERT or individual activity follows the beta distribution, but the total project duration follows the normal distribution curve. You can see the sketch. So this is the curve and this is the duration at the x-axis and the probability at the y-axis here, and this is at here duration, right? So T0, TM, TP we will discuss in the upcoming video only, upcoming questions only. But in the question they have asked, the beta distribution cannot be divided into equal halves. Halves is nothing but number of parts. Beta we can't divide, that is by the probable time, but the expected duration of the project divide the total project duration of the two equal halves. So we can divide, okay, we can divide in the expected duration of the project. Okay, I think you have understood. So what they are asking, time estimate of the activities, probability of the occurrence follow, PERT analysis. What it will follow? Time estimate of the activities, PERT analysis, the individual activity follows what? Beta distribution, right? So beta distribution is the answer for the given question, right? Next question, again this is we can say that is a project management question. If D is the duration, ES and EF are the earliest start time or earliest finish time, LS and LF are the latest start time and latest finish time, then the following relation holds good, right? What it means, that we can say, so these are the relation they are given. Let me first of all see, in project management we can say that is the sum of the following definitions. Duration is what? From this point to this point, means from starting of project to end of the time. So that is the duration of the estimated actual time required to complete the task or an activity. For example, if you have started the foundation work, you have started today and you have completed after 10 days, so that is the duration of the foundation work, right? Now earliest start time, it is what? It is defined as an earliest possible time at which an activity can, activity is more, for example foundation, slab concreting, beam casting. So these are the different activities in a construction project. So that possible time at which an activity can start, so this is the earliest start time. So it is calculated by moving from first to last event in a network diagram, right? So in a network diagram we can say that is from the first to last point. So that is the earliest start time. Next is earliest finished time, EF, means earliest possible time at which an activity can finish. How much early you will finish, right? So the relation between earliest start time and earliest finish time and duration is given by what? That is a EF equal to ES plus D. So this is the formula, right? So we can write EF minus ES equal to D. So by seeing here, you can see EF, right? EF minus ES, EF minus ES equal to what? Sorry, that is a D. So the this one already correct, but here they have given option like this, so you have to select one more option. For that, again you have to go deep. What is latest start time? It is defined as what? Latest time at an activity can start and still allow the project to be completed on the estimated project completion time. So what is the latest start time is? It is defined as an latest time of an activity can start and still allow the project to be completed on an estimated project. Means if you started late, right? So if you started late, but you will complete on the completion of the project duration, so that we call it as an latest start time. And the latest finish time also same. It is a latest possible time at which an activity can finish and still allow the project to complete it on the estimated project completion time. I will give one example so that you can understand. For example, if you are started today and slab concreting, your duration is after 5 days you have to complete the this activity and the whole project activity also. So for that 5 days, up to 5 days you will complete all that time. So that is the latest finish time, right? Understood. Now the relation between latest start time, latest finish time and duration is given by what? LF is equal to LS plus D. So the correct relation, if we call it as, that is an EF equal to ES plus D. So EF is equal to ES plus D. So the A and C, this A and C is the correct answer for this question, right? So if you remember all these concepts, then only you can answer this type of question. This is from the project management. Let me fast. Next question, concrete technology. This question is concrete technology. Okay, 1 minute. The volume of, okay, we can say that is concrete technology or estimating and costing. You can take any subject because it is related to concrete mixer, means it is concrete technology. The capacity of 28 S type concrete mixer is 0.8 meter cube. For mixing 1 cubic meter of concrete, the quantity of cement required is 5.5. For 0.8 meter cube, mixing of 1 meter cube concrete, right? The quantity of cement required is 5.5 kg, 5.5 bags, sorry. In order to avoid fractional usage of cement bags, volume of concrete meter cube to be mixed per batch will be. What they are asking, let me tell you, this question has already asked in PWD also. This has same question with same data they have repeated. Same question, same data. As a 5.5 bags of cement can produce in 1 meter cube of concrete. This is given in question. But for 0.8 meter cube of concrete, how many bags required? That is a 5.5 into 0.8, right? 5.5 into 0.8, so that is a 4.4 bags. 4.4 bags is for the 0.8 meter cube. Hence 4 bags are required. 4 bags of cement is required. So the maximum number of full bags will be 4. So the 4 bag can produce how much quantity of concrete? They are asking, let me understand what they are telling. 28 S type, don't just by seeing this name don't be confused. Okay, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ. ಇದು ಏನು 28 S type, that is the name of the capacity of an concrete mixer. Don't worry. So the mixer is 0.8 meter cube for a mixing of 1 cubic meter. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇಷ್ಟು ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ಗೆ ಇವ್ರು ಇದು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಇಸ್ 5.5 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಮಗೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆ ಅಂದರೆ 4 ಬ್ಯಾಗ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಮೆಂಟು ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಾಂಕ್ರೀಟ್ನ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡುತ್ತೆ? 4 into 0.8. So that is a 0.73 meter cube of the concrete for the 4 bags of cement. Okay, ಇಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. So the answer for this question is What is the answer for this question? 0.73, right? 0.73 is the answer for the given question. Let's move to the next question. So this is a structural analysis question. ಇವಾಗ ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟಫ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಇದೇ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೂ. ಈಸಿ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಟಫ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. Degree of static indeterminacy of a rigid jointed plane frame, right, having 15 members, 3 reaction components and 14 joints, right? So what actually they were given? 15 members. Let me see the definition. That is the degree of static determinacy of a plane frame. So this is a formula: 3m plus r minus 3j, where m is the number of members, r is the number of support reaction and number of joints. For example, this is a frame, right? So the numbers, m is the number of members. So for example here 1 2 3, so 3 members. Number of support reaction means here, right, we can say this is one is movement, one is vertical, one is horizontal, right? So we have total 3 reactions here. Okay, now number of joints, so this is one fixed joint, another fixed joint, 2 joints. So this is the number of joints. Now in the given question, 15 members, right, 15 members, 3 reaction, right, sorry, 14 joints, right? So the 14 joints they were given. By using this formula, if you put all these values in this formula, 3m plus r minus 2j, right? So 3 into 15 into 3 into 15 into plus 3 minus 3 into 14, so that is a 6. The ds is what? Ds is what? That is the degree of static indeterminacy. So the degree of static indeterminacy in a plane frame, so this is in the plane frame, 3m plus r minus 3j. For kinematic indeterminacy in a plane frame, that is a 3j minus r, 3j minus r if it is asked in kinematic indeterminacy. But here in this question they have asked static indeterminacy. If they ask kinematic, you have to use this formula. So what is the answer for this question? That is a 6 is the answer for the given question, right? Simple, you have to understand. Next question. Again this question is structural analysis. Influence line diagram for a force in a truss member as shown in the figure. This is a sketch. If a uniformly distributed load of intensity 30 kilonewton per meter longer than the span traversed, then the maximum compression in the member. Okay, so what how you will calculate this one? Sorry. Okay, how you will calculate this one? To get the maximum compression force, place the UDL up to, right? So this is the question they have asked. Let me take the pen. Sorry, so ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬೆನ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತು, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅದು ಡಿಸ್ಟರ್ಬ್ ಆಯಿತು. ಓಕೆ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ನೋಡಿ, ಸೊ ಇದು ಇನ್ಫ್ಲುಯೆನ್ಸ್ ಲೈನ್ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ. ಲೆಟ್ ಮಿ ಸಾಲ್ವ್. First of all, understand, to get the maximum compression force plane UDL only up to the region of the compression force. ಇದು ಬಿಟ್ಬಿಡಿ. Influence line diagram ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ, influence lines are important in designing beams, trusses are used in the bridges where loads will move along their span. Loads will move along their span. The influence line shows where a load will create maximum effect for any of the functions studied. I will tell you for the example, right? You have already seen the what? This is what? This is a railway line and this is a wheel of a railway. Wheel of railway, right? This is a wheel of rail, right? So this is the best example of influence lines. Understand this one, right? Given influence line diagram of the truss member, the intensity of the UDL they have given is 30 kilonewton per meter. From the influence line diagram figure we can see this one. So this is a tension portion and this is a compression force, right? You can see this is a tension and this is a compression portion. So from here to here this is x, right? Here to here this is x, and from this point to this point it is 4 minus x. Okay, let me see the next what they are telling. From the similarity of the triangles, right? Just we are taking this triangle, right? I am drawing here, you can understand easily. Right, so this is what actually, this is x, I think correct, yes, this one is correct, x, and sorry, right, those, so this is x and this is 0.29 and this is 4 minus x, this is a what, 4 minus x. By taking this similar triangle, this is 0.29, so the 0.29 by x, 0.29 by x and 0.58 by 4 minus x, right? So the x is what, 4 by 3. So in the above figure we can say, in order to get the maximum compression force, this one, this is the compression force, UDL is placed till the compression zone, that is the UDL into area of the compression triangle of influence line diagram, right? So the maximum force is, that is the load, that is a UDL. How much UDL? They have given 30 kilonewton per meter. 30 kilonewton per meter into the area of this triangle, half into base into height. So the half into 0.29, this value, into, right, this distance is how much? This is 4, right? This is the 4, right? You can see here. So this is the 4 plus this x. What is the x value? That is a 4 by 3. So that is 4 plus 4 by 3 kilonewton. So we will get 23.2 kilonewton is the answer for the given question. Okay, artha aita? So 23 point, how much? 23.2. So here the answer is 23.186 is the answer. Right? Video lengthy ಆಗಲಿ, ಬಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಫುಲ್ ಡೀಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಇದೇ ತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಡೀಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಅದ್ರ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಸ್ಟೇಷನ್ ಮೀನ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಅವರೇಜ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್, ಹೈವೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ ಅದು. ಹೈವೇ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಇಂಜಿನಿಯರಿಂಗ್, ಏರ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್. ಮೀನ್ ಅವರೇಜ್ ಟೆಂಪರೇಚರ್ ಇಸ್ 30 degrees Celsius and the mean of the texture maximum daily temperature is 45 degrees Celsius. What is the airport reference temperature? Simple question ide, let me tell you. So this is the formula, is very important. Airport reference temperature is TA plus Tm minus TA by 3, where TA is the monthly mean of the average daily temperature for the hottest month of the year. Hottest andre bisil ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ. Tm is monthly mean of the maximum daily temperature for the same month. So TA, right, 30 degrees Celsius average temperature they have given, 30 degree, 45 degree, and you have to put these values in this formula, right? You will get the answer. Simple, 35 degrees Celsius is the answer for the given question. 35. Next question. Muller-Breslau principle of influence line, again structural analysis, is applicable for which one it is applicable? It is applicable, let me understand what is this principle. So it used to draw the influence line diagram. Just in previous questions I have tell you what is influence line diagram. So it is used for determinate and indeterminate structures. ILD for determinate structure is linear, and for the indeterminate structure it is curve linear. So this method is based on the concept that influence lines are deflection curve, right? Influence lines are deflection curve. Straight application of Maxwell reciprocal theorem. So what this principle is tell that an internal stress component of a reaction component is considered to act through some small distance and thereby to deflect or displace a structure. The curve of deflected structure will be influence line stress or reaction component. Simple, I have already told you. So this is a wheel of that what railway. If it deflect like this, right? So you have to study about that one. Influence line diagram for shear force free the section and provide until displacement, while for the bending moment. Bending moment free the section and provide the unit rotation, right? So the answer for this question is what? So it is used for what? Continuous beams or frame, portal frames, fixed frame, or all of the above. For which one it is used? Right? So Muller's is used for what? Determinate and indeterminate structures, linear, while the indeterminate structure will be curvilinear. This method is concept of influence lines, right? Where it is used? Where it is used? Let me comment me in the comment box. ನೋಡೋಣ ಯಾರು ಎಷ್ಟಿಗೆ ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಬೀಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಪೋರ್ಟಲ್ ಫ್ರೇಮ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು, ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ಬೀಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. So all of the above is the answer. Simple. Next question. Again you can see this is a structural analysis question. Question number 18. Degree of kinematic indeterminacy of a plane structure is it is in the given the figure, right? Neglecting the axial strain. Let me tell you, first of all understand what you mean by kinematic indeterminacy, right? So that is the number of unknown joint displacement, right, is called as the degree of the freedom. Number of unknown joint displacement, how many joint displacement is there, so that we call it as a degree of the freedom. Now, so the type of joint, first of all, is rigid joint or plane frame. So we have a degree of freedom is 3, that is x, y and z. If it is rigid joint of a space frame, this is plane frame and this is space frame. So totally 6, 3 rotations and 3 in the xy, yz and xz direction, right? And 3 translation x, that is in the x and y and z. So totally here 6 and here 3. Now third one, pin jointed of a plane frame, 2D truss, and that is a 2, degree of the freedom, right? X and y. If it is plane jointed, fourth one, plane joint frame, that is the 3D truss, right? So 3, that is the x, y and z. Hinge, that is 1, roller, it is 2, for fixed it is 0, right? So fixed is nothing but there is no degree of freedom. Okay, now in the question what they have given, this is the given question. Neglecting the axial strain, they have given neglect the axial strain. So the formula for this one is total degree of freedom minus number of members. So this is a 2D frame. Number of member is what? How much? 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and this one 6. So these are the number of frames, sorry, members. Number of rigid joints, 4. Rigid joints means this one, 4, right? 1, 2, 3 and 4. I will make brackets so that you can understand, right? Bracket ಹಾಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ನೋಡಿ. 1 fixed joint, okay, number of joints ಇವು ಏನಿರುತ್ತೆ, these are separate, okay, star mark, I will make star mark for this. 1 fixed joint, 1 hinge joint, this is hinge joint and this is fixed joint. Now degree of the freedom is 4 into 3, right? So the number of frames is 6, right? 4 into 3, that is the number of joints, into 3 plus 1 into 1 plus 1 into 0, right? So that is the number of rigid joint is, that is a 13. So this is the total degree of the freedom, but the question asked is neglecting the axial constraint. So our total degree of indeterminacy is, that is the degree of freedom is 13 minus 6, that is a 7. If you neglect axial strain, then you have to minus the number of members that is given, right? So the answer for the given question is what? 7 is the answer for the given question. Okay, next we tell you the question number 19. A water treatment, environmental engineering, environmental engineering, okay. So this question is environmental engineering, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ನೋಡಿ ಏನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, water treatment plant capacity is 1 meter cube per second, has a filter of dimension 6 meter into 10 meter. Loading rate of the filter is 120 meter cube per day per meter square. When 2 of the filters out of the service for back washing, the loading rate, first of all filtration ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, filtration ಯಾಕೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ವಾಟರ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ವಾಷಿಂಗ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ, ವಾಟ್ ಎವರ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯೂಸ್, that has to be backwash to remove all the grit or dirt what are the that is stored on the filter. So that is a backwashing. So here they are asking what area of the filtration. Let me tell you what is area of the filtration. Capacity divided by what loading rate to the filters. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಹೊರಟಿದೆ ಅದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಲೋಡ್ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ಸೊ ಅದನ್ನ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಿಲ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಅಂತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕಂಡುಹಿಡಿತೀರಾ, ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಿಲ್ಟ್ರೇಷನ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ದ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಗಿವನ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್, ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ 1 ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಪರ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಅದನ್ನ ಪರ್ ಡೇ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ 3600 ಇಂಟು 24 ಅವರ್ಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅದನ್ನ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಾಗ 86,400 ಮೀಟರ್ ಕ್ಯೂಬ್ ಪರ್ ಡೇ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ರೇಟ್ ಟು ದ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ is 120 meter cube per day per meter square. This is a given. Now area of the filtration is 86,400. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇದು ಏನಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ಕೆಪಾಸಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ಲಾಂಟ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದು ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಲೋಡಿಂಗ್ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್. ಸೊ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಗೆಟ್ 720 ಮೀಟರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ವೇರ್. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ರಿಕ್ವೈರ್ಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿದೆ. ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ಸ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಡಿವೈಡೆಡ್ ಬೈ ಏರಿಯಾ ಆಫ್ ಒನ್ ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್, area of the filtration and area of one filter. For example, if you have 10 filters, that is the area of each filter is how much and what is the total area of the filtration, right? So if you've done that one, you will get the number of filters. Now here the number of filters required is 720 divided by 6 into 10, that is the number of filters is required is 12. But in the question now we got the 12 number of filtration, but here they have given one condition, when 2 of the filters are out of the service for backwashing, right? You have to minus the 12 minus 2, right? So the 10 filters is available for your work because 2 filters are going for the washing purpose. So the area of filtration available is not what 60 into 10, that is 600 meter square. So that is the loading rate 86,400 divided by 600. So the 144 meter cube per day per meter square. ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ? ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಸಿಂಪಲ್, ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿಕಲ್ ಮ್ಯಾನರ್. You have 12 filters. We have calculated 12 filters. 2 are going for backwashing and remaining you have to again revise the what, that is the area of the filter. ಯಾಕೆಂದ್ರೆ ಏರಿಯಾ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ 2 ಫಿಲ್ಟರ್ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ. So that is the area of filtration available. So you have to calculate like this. Simple calculation, you have to remember the formulas. Okay, so what is the answer now? 144 is the answer for the given question, right? Next question, again environmental engineering. BOD 5 of a waste water sample is 200 milligram liter at 20 degrees Celsius. The value of reaction constant is K is 0.2 day minus 1 with the base E. Ultimate BOD of the sample, right? Ultimate BOD, how we will calculate? Always we will calculate BOD at the 5 days. What is the reason? So BOD is what? That is the amount of oxygen demand by microorganisms to decompose biodegradable organic matter present in wastewater under anaerobic condition. Aerobic, anaerobic. Okay, ನೆನಪಿದಿದ್ರೆ ನೆನಪಿಗೂ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. anaerobic and aerobic, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ವಿತ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ವಿತೌಟ್ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್, ನೆನಪು ಬಂತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ? So BOD is the measurement of the strength of wastewater. First of all understand, BOD is what? Measuring of the strength of the wastewater. So why we take 5 days? Always we take BODs at 5 days. Why? Because within 5 days 60 to 70% of organic content is oxidized. Therefore 5-day BOD is taken as standard reference. We know that, right? So we can take always 60 to 70% organic matter oxidize ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಅದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾವೇನು ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ 5 days BOD ತಗೋತೀವಿ. ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಆನ್ಸರ್. ನಾವು BOD ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ, L0 into 1 minus, right, exponential minus of K into T, where L0 is the what? Ultimate BOD and T is the time. Now this is a given a 5-day BOD at 20 degrees Celsius 200 milligram per liter. 200 milligram ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. 200 milligram per liter. So the reaction constant K with base E 0.2 day minus 1. So this is a given question, given, right? This is a given. BOD at 5, that is L0 into 1 minus E minus K into T. So 200 L0 1 minus E. So this is exponential, you have to use in the calculator. If calculator not allowed, you can't answer this type of questions. It is very difficult, right? So L0, if you done this one, you will get this answer, 316.39 milligram per liter, right? So 316 milligram per liter is the answer for the given question. 316 milligram per liter is the answer for the given question. Next, septic tank is a what? Environmental engineering question from the environmental engineering again. Septic tank is settling tank and digestion tank. Always remember, it is what? Settling tank is digestion tank, primary sedimentation tank, septic tank with the large detention time, that is a 12 to 36 hour. So what is detention time? For example, this is the tank. If your water, if this is inlet and water will come here and stand for some hours in a static condition, no disturbance from any other external pressure. So in that there will be an large particle will settle at the down, right? So that we call it as, that time is an detention time or detention period. So that is a 12 to 36 hours. A septic tank combines the function of sedimentation tank, sludge digestion tank and sludge storage tank. Septic tank is usually provided with a brick wall in which cement mortar not less than 20 cm 9 inch thick and the foundation floor is of 1:2:4, right? 1 to 4. So dimension of the septic tank, these are some important dimension, or we can say standard dimension. When we draw the septic tank, you can see this is a plan. So this type of, there is a wall there, we call it as an baffle wall or separate wall, right? Okay, this one, and we can say this is inlet and this is outlet. And first of all, when you see in the cross section, it will like this. This is a baffle wall and this is an inlet. The water will come here, right? Sometimes 2 to 3 baffle wells are provided like this. Okay, let me show you so that you can understand clearly. ಆಯ್ತಾ, ಇದೊಂದು ಬ್ಯಾಫಲ್ ವಾಲ್, ಈ ತರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. So this is the tank. So this is the first baffle wall and this is second baffle wall. So the water or the waste will come here and it will goes like this, and there is a opening. Sometimes it will come from here. So it will detent or it will stand here and the solid particle will settle at the bottom and the water will go out. Okay. So the width is 650, this one. Length is 2 to 4 meter and depth is 1 to 1.3 meter and capacity is 1 cubic meter. Detention period is 24 hours. So the answer for this question is what? Settling and digestion tank. A and B is the answer for the given question. Next question. The process of turning telescope, surveying question. ನೋಡಿ, ಈ ತರ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೋಡಿದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಬೇಕು. The process of turning telescope about the vertical axis in horizontal plane. ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ? Transiting is a rotation of what? Horizontal axis in vertical plane. Is what? Known as reversing, plunging. Transiting no anತಾರೆ. Swinging is nothing but rotation of telescope about its vertical axis in horizontal plane. Okay, simple ಆಗಿದೆ. So ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳಿ? Swinging is the answer for the given question. Right? Next question. Question number 23. If the reduced level, right, RL and benchmark BM is 100 meter, the back side is 1.215 meter, foresight is 1.87 meter. The RL of the forward station is. So this is a question that is in the from the survey. Let me clear your all doubt on this question. What they are telling? So this is the instrument, right? And this is the height of instrument. Height of instrument is equal to benchmark plus backside. This formula you know already. Reduced level of the forward station, that is height of instrument minus foresight reading. Simple way you have to understand. So this is the benchmark they have given. Here you can see what they have given. Benchmark is 100 meter. So given reduced level RL on benchmark is 100 meter, back side is 1.215 and foresight is 1.87 meter, right? What they are asking, RL of the forward station. Let me tell you. So this is the what instrument. Instrument is kept here, and they are first always you will take the what, you will take the back side, that is on the benchmark, and you have taken on the benchmark. Backward station is 1.215 meter and forward station is 1.87 meter. So RL of the foresight. Now the height of the instrument, this one, this is the height of the instrument. Benchmark plus backside, that is 100 plus 1.215, you will get 101.215 meter. This is the first step. Now reduce level of the forward station. You want the RL of this point. You want actually the RL of this point. What you will do? Now you have done with here. You have already came here. Now you have to minus this height. Right? You can see this height. You have to minus. So the 101.215. 101.215 is here, minus of this height 1.870. So you will get the RL of the foresight, that is the 99.345 meter. So the 99.345 meter is the answer for the given question. Simple questions. Okay, remember question number 24. Again this question is from the survey. Two straight lines intersect at an angle of 60 degree. The radius of the curve joining the two straight line is a 600 meter. Length of long chord and mid chord. For example, this is the straight line and this is the length of long chord, and these are the sections. Okay, so we can draw like this, or I will show you the diagram. You can see. So the total, what they are asking, what you have to calculate, length of long chord and mid ordinates in meter respectively. Tangent length, first of all understand what is tangent length. You can see this is a point of intersection, right? And you can tell this is a deflection. Forward length, backward length, or backward tangent from here to here, and this is a forward tangent from here to here. This length, total length, this total length is what? Backward tangent. So length of the curve formula is pi r delta by 180, long chord 2r sine delta by 2, external distance E r sec theta delta by 2 minus 1, and mid ordinate is r 1 minus cos delta by 2. So what is a given angle of intersection? This one they have given 120 degree. Angle of intersection plus deflection angle, right? So this one is the deflection angle, we can say. So that is a 180 degree, total 180 degree. So deflection angle we can say that is a 60 degree, right? So 60 degree is a what? Two straight line intersect an angle of 60 degree, right? So the length of long chord, right? So length of long chord formula 2r sine delta by 2, 600 meter. Length of mid ordinate 600 minus 600 into cos 30, 80.4. So this is the length of long chord, this one. I think you are seeing, this is a length of long chord. This is a point of curve, and this is a point of tangency. PT is a point of tangency, PC is a point of curve. So this hatch portion is what? That is the length of long chord, and this is this curve portion, right? This like curve portion, this is the length of the what? Curve. This is the length of curve. Done? Okay. Now if you are not aware, if you are have confusion, you don't know the answer, see, by seeing the options also you can answer. 600, right, comma 80.4 are the two common answers here. Whatever they ask is that is a long chord. So answer is between these two only, right? ತುಕ್ಕ ಹೊಡೆಯೋಕ್ಕೂ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ 600 ಮೀಟರ್ ಇದೆ. ಸೊ ಓನ್ಲಿ ನೀವು ಲೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ಮಿಡ್ ಆರ್ಡಿನೇಟ್ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸೊ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ, ಇಲ್ಲ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋಣ. ಓಕೆ, ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನು ಕವರ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡೋಣ. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ಇದು ಹೈಡ್ರಾಲಿಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ ಕನ್ವರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಏನಂದರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಪಾಯಿಂಟರ್ ಪೆನ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಅವಾಗವಾಗ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ನಾವು ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಈಸ್ FM ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕ್ಸ್. ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೆಂದಿ ಆಗಿದೆ. ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಕೇಳಿ ನಾನು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಎ ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಆಫ್ 7.5 centimeter at a throat. ಓಕೆ, ನಾವು ಒಂದು ಬೇರೆ ಟೈಪ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಈ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಓದೋದೇ ಬೇಡ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್. ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಆಮೇಲೆ ಓದೋಣ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್? ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್, ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಮೆಜರ್ ದ ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಲೂಯಿಡ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಪೈಪ್. ಇದೊಂದು ಪೈಪ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದರ ಥ್ರೋ ವಾಟರ್ ಪಾಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅದರದ್ದು ರೇಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಡಿವೈಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಪ್ರಿನ್ಸಿಪಲ್ ಆನ್ ದ ಬರ್ನೌಲಿಸ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್. ಬರ್ನೌಲಿಸ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇದೆ ಇದು, ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಸ್ಕೆಚ್ ನೋಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಇನ್ಲೆಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್, and this is the throat portion, and this is converging part, this is diverging part, and this is the outlet, right. Q theoretical ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಒಂದು Q theoretical, ಒಂದು Q ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಯಾವ್ದು ಬರುತ್ತೆ ಹೇಳಿ, Q actual. ಅಂದರೆ Q is nothing but discharge. ಸೊ theoretical and actual. theoretical ಅಂದ್ರೇನು, actual ಅಂದ್ರೇನು? theoretical means ಈಗ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ದ ಸೈಜ್ ಆಫ್ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್ ದ ಮೆಜರ್ಮೆಂಟ್, ರೈಟ್, ಇಫ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟೆಡ್ by knowing the standard values and you have calculated the value, that is what the theoretical value. But what is the actual condition now? That is the Q actual, right. So the Q theoretical is CD, coefficient of discharge, into A1 by A2 root of A2 square minus A1 square root of 2gh meter cube per second. So this is the formula. By seeing the sketch, let me explain this sketch first. So if the water will come here, right, from this inlet, right, and it will actually, this is like this. Right, so this is the inlet portion, right, this is the outlet portion, and this is what the throat portion. Only this portion, this is what is the throat, and here also there are different portion, that is converging part and diverging part. So this is the, we can say this is P1 V1 D1, right. So what is P1 D1? Here you can see, right. So A1 is a cross sectional area of the at the throat, right, you can see at the throat point. A2 is the cross section area of the enlarged section. H is the difference between the pressure head between the throat and the enlarged section. This is the H, right. At this point also and this point also, they will measure the difference between the fluid. So that we call it as an pressure head. CD is equal to Q actual by Q theoretical. So using the Bernoulli's equation, so P1 by rho, right, P is a pressure, P is a pressure, V is a velocity, D is a diameter, and I think another one is A1, right. A is the area of that inlet. Okay, so area of that inlet. P1 by rho and P2 by rho are the pressure heads at the respective sections. So these are the section. This is one section and this is second section. Okay, ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. So V1 and V2 are the velocities, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೀನಿ. Z1 and Z2 are the datum head at the respective section. Z1 and Z2. HL is the head loss between the section ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರೋದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಓದೋಣ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ, ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ಬರ್ನೌಲಿಸ್ ಥಿಯರಮ್, ಇಷ್ಟು ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಓದೋಣ. ಎ ವೆಂಚುರಿಮೀಟರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವಿಂಗ್ ಎ ಡಯಾಮೀಟರ್ ಆಫ್ 7.5 centimeter at the throat 15 centimeter at the enlarged end, enlarge ಅಂದ್ರೆ outlet, is installed in horizontal pipeline of 15 centimeter diameter. Then the pipe carries an incompressible fluid at a steady rate of 30 liters per second. This is the what? Q they have given. Discharge. Difference of pressure head measured in terms of the moving fluid in between the enlarged end and the throat of the venturometer is observed as 2.4 meter. Idu, what is this? This is the difference between the heads, 2.45 meter. Taking the acceleration due to gravity 9.81 meter per second square. The coefficient of discharge of the venturometer right? Correct up to 2 decimal places. Let me tell you now. So this is the what? The throat, right? They have given the throat dimension here. I will draw here one more time. Okay. ನೋಡಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಹೋಗಲಿ ಟೈಮ್ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತಾ. ಈಗ ಯಾವ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ ನಾವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಇದು ಒಂದು ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ತರ ಒಂದು ಲೈನ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಥ್ರೋಟ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್. ಸೊ D1 is 7.5 centimeter and diameter at the enlargement ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಕಡೆ ಇದು. ಸೊ D1 and D2 ಅನ್ಬೋದು. A1 ಸೊ ಇದರದ್ದು ಏರಿಯಾ, A2 ದ ಏರಿಯಾ 176.714 centimeter square. Acceleration due to gravity ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ 9.81 meter per second square. Flow rate Q actual 30 liter per second ಅಂತ ಇದು ಕ್ವಶನ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಗಿವನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಕ್ವಶನ್, ರೈಟ್? So 30 into 10 raised to power minus 3 meter cube per second, that is in the centimeter cube ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ 30 into 10 raised to power 3 centimeter cube per second ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. Now pressure head difference between the throat and the enlarged section. ಇಲ್ಲೊಂದು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, right? So this is the section 11. So this is the section 22 ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಸೊ ಎರಡು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ನಾನು ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಡ್ರಾ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ. P1 by rho minus P2 by rho, that is 2.45. This is the head difference. 2.45 ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದಿದೆ. So this is the equation A. So P1 by rho plus V1 square. ಇದು actually ಏನಿದೆ ಹೇಳಿ, P divided by rho plus V divided by 2G plus Z equals to 0 ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. So this is the Bernoulli's equation. So Z1. So they are given two sections. So we are equating both. So P2 by rho plus V2 square divided by 2G plus Z2 plus head, that is the difference in the head HL. But between the section and 1 and 2, Z1 equals to Z2. So neglecting the head loss we have to neglect the head loss. ಯಾಕೆಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಕ್ಯಾಲ್ಕುಲೇಟ್ ಮಾಡೋದಿದೆ ನಮಗೆ. ಸೊ HL ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಟೈಮ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನಾನು ಸೈಡಿಗೆ ಇಟ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ P1 by rho V1 square by 2G plus, right? So P2 by rho plus V2 square by 2G. So you will get another equation. From equation of continuity, what is that? That is the quantity of water, Q is equal to A into V, area into volume. So CGS units are used. So CGS unit ನಾವು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ V1 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ, Q actual by A1, that is Q actual divided by 44.178 and V is Q actual 176.714. So ಇದನ್ನ from 1 A and B, A ಯಾವುದಿದೆ ಇದಿದೆ, ರೈಟ್? A and B ಇವೆರಡು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಇದು ಅದನ್ನ ಇಕ್ವೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಈ ತರ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. 245 Q theoretical by this one whole square minus of Q theoretical by 176 whole square divided by 2 into 981. So Q theoretical is equal to 31.5 into 10 raised to power centimeter cube per second. So CD value is, right, Q theoretical ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ ಇದೆ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ, ರೈಟ್? CD value ಏನಿದೆ, Q theoretical by Q actual by Q theoretical, right? So ಅದನ್ನ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ so CD is a 0.95, right? So 0.95 is the answer for the given question. ನೋಡಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೆಂದಿ ಆಗಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನ ಬೇಗ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ, ತೊಂದರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೀವು 2 ಸ್ಟೆಪ್ಪಲ್ಲೇ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಬರ್ದಿರೋಕ್ಕೆ ಉದ್ದ ಕಾಣಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ತೊಂದರೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ, ಆಯ್ತಾ? ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಯಾವ ಥರ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತು ಪ್ಲೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ಆಯಿತಾ? ಲೆಂದಿ ನೋಡಿ 1 hour ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಮೋರ್ ದೆನ್ 1 hour ಆಗಿರ್ಬೋದು, ಆಯಿತಾ? ನನಗಂತೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮು, ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ನಾನು ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ ನಾನು ಮಗ್ನ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ. ನನಗೆ ಟೈಮ್ ಯಾವತ್ತೂ ನೋಡೋದಿಲ್ಲ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೇಳುವಾಗ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಲೈಕ್, ಕಮೆಂಟ್, ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ, ನಮ್ಮ ಚಾನಲ್ನ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೈಬ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಸಿವಿಲ್ ಸುದೀರ್ನ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಅನ್ನೋಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ವಾಚಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ. ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಎ ನೈಸ್ ಡೇ.